Your question, yes, there was a point that I did feel that way.
Okay.
But, now that, like I said, that life happens.
Right.
And since life happens, when I got into the world, or I backslid at the age of 25, completely, not saying I wasn't doing things that was against what we consider God's will before then.
I got you.
But when I decided, forget it, I'm gonna go all in and all that type of stuff, and I was living my life the way that I felt, I wanted to live, and I had my particular reasons, and that I did what I did.
Right.
So one thing that I discovered in meeting people who we call worldly or sinners, I learned there's two different type of groups. Yeah. You got the churched sinners, and you got the completely raw sinners. Right. See, the church sinners are those who understand systematic religion.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They was raised in it. They was taught certain belief structures. And so, even though they may not do X over here, but they do Y over there.
Exactly.
If they don't do Y over here, they do Z over there.
Right.
And then they turn around and point fingers, well, at least I don't do this.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. Those are church sinners. But then you got the raw sinners that be like, well, I don't know about all of this, but I do believe there's something greater than I. And I did hear about a God. And so I began to humanize even both groups. I began to see them in the human perspective.
Right.
And so, sure, there were times I thought about it, not in my mature state, but beforehand, I can't do this because I don't want nobody to say this about me.
Yeah.
But guess what? Regardless, they still were saying something.
Exactly. But you realize everything works together for the good, though, because although you might have backslid, got out in the world, it was necessary for you to do that because it changed your whole perspective.
It did.
And you was looking at a portion of the picture, but you saw a bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I think in you going that route, it was beneficial for the path that you currently own. And being a preacher, okay, they talk about, certain people, talk about who you might have hung around with or communicate with, whatever the case may be. But in you going through that, I personally feel like that's a way of bringing somebody in, because guess what? You're not gonna look down on that person because they are on drugs, or because they're gay, or because they're alcoholic, or they can't seem to hold a job down or whatever. Why? Because okay, you got a chance to look through a different lens, and you can speak to them in a certain type of language that other people can't. And you being that way, I can see that person becoming comfortable enough to say, you know what, I think I want to come and check him out. That's just like Jesus. That's the Lord. Like, okay, all right, you go to church, right? And they said we was made in his image, right? They say that he is our Father and we are all God's children. Okay, and in being God's children, none of us are perfect. God loves us, and I'm saying this because for the churchy people that want to look down on somebody that doesn't walk in the same shoes they walk in, they might need to take heed and read a little bit more in depth into, the Bible. Okay, God, he loves you or whatever. And what he said, he will never leave you or forsake you. A lot of them tend to leave you and forsake you. But,
Right. Let me say this. It's, I truly, they should look deeper into the scriptures, but also they should look deeper into their hearts.
They should.
And the reason why I say that, because if they look deeper into their hearts, they will realize, okay, I did jump over this hurdle right here, but I got 50 more hurdles that I got to jump over.
Exactly.
And I only got 2 behind me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so if they look at it from that angle, they won't be so quick to judge the hurdles that you are currently trying to get over, and you keep falling over, and those type of things. You mentioned something about the love of God.
Yes.
And one thing that I had to realize, in whatever state of where I was in life, that God never stopped loving me.
Exactly.
Because I was taught that, once certain things happen, that the punishment of God is going to come heavy on you. And my perspective of that have changed. I had preached a message a couple of months ago. Matter of fact, it been a couple of months ago, because I don't rush to preach. I don't rush to get in the pulpit, because I like doing other areas and things from coming out to my church. I love it. But I guess it's been 2 years now. Oh, shame.
Bless you, Jesus.
I made a statement that, and I know this is going to sound churchy, but that's fine, because this was context of how everything happened.
Right.
That when God punishes you, or he allowed the consequences of your choice to happen, it is never to destroy you. So like, I always was taught that God's going to get you. He going to destroy you. He going to do this. God allows everything to help you to get yourself back on track.
Exactly.
It's just kind of like, a parent does the child that they love. Like, a punishment is not happening because they're trying to be mean,
and
or
because they don't love you.
Vindictive. Right.
Right.
They see, hey, if I keep letting Junior stay up all night long playing the video game,
right,
what's going to happen is Junior going to be focused in school.
Exactly.
He's going to fail. Exactly. I want Junior to do better than me.
Exactly.
So, I need to make sure that Junior go to bed. Junior keep tripping out, whatever. So his punishment is, I'm going to take away your video game and take away your phone.
Right.
You have to do reports in this house.
Right.
If your mouth get a little flip, there goes some other level of consequences called the belt. You feel me?
Exactly.
So, but it's all designed from a loving person.
Exactly.
So I start viewing God love completely different. Exactly. Instead of looking at God as like, there go God, he finna get you.
Right.
He finna get you.
Right.
Because when you look at God like that, you never could appreciate him for who he really is.
Exactly.
And I look, when the Bible talks about fear the Lord, I don't look at fear like I'm shaking, I'm
Exactly.
Ooh. I look at it like I respect him.
Exactly.
I respect him for being who I believe that God is.
Exactly.
I respect him for what I believe that God does.
Right.
And where I believe God has brought me out of, and where I believe God is bringing me into.
Exactly.
So, but getting back on track, I was heated.
I know you were.
I was heated, and I was heated because it was a combination of things. And I'm gonna say this: it's because a lot of people feel that I should allow them to talk to me any kind of way, say things in a kind of way. So a lot of people view me as a punk because I'm not a rowdy individual.
Right.
I'm not that type of person. Y'all, my phone is going off. Oh, I'm not that type of person that always rah this and get all loud stuff. I'm not like that.
Right.
But and so when that came about, like, so what for? what was it? What was the real nature of that conversation?
Exactly.
Like, what was the reason? Why do you chose the words that you chose? You know, you could have said in kind of, you know, they feel like, you know, sometimes, you know, elder doesn't present himself like he should. You could have said that.
Exactly.
But you specifically said what you said. And I got on here and said, what you heard was the truth. I do hold conversations with those persons. Know why? Because that's the truth. I don't have no reason to hide or lie about anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, some things I may not openly, I mean, blah, blah, blah. I may not tell you that my toenail crooked because they ain't your business. That's the first thing. I'm grown. Secondly, anybody who knows me personally know, like you said, we've been out several times. And several of our friends had alcoholic beverages and stuff like that. And thing was passing around. They were looking real good. I ain't going to tell no story.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like, yo. And remember one time I said, can I get that in a virgin?
Yeah, that's what you did. I think we was at Red Lobster.
Yeah, I was like, can I get that in a virgin?
I wanted a pina colada, whatever. You like, can I have it in a virgin form?
Hey, they like, no, we can't, you know, things like that. You know, so I'm like, people who know me, and the problem is sometimes people don't want to get to know you. They like to hear the dirt because
negative stuff, gossip.
Yeah,
they feed off of that.
They feed off of that. Yeah,
but you have to get to a point where you filter those type of people out. Like when you were speaking on being a Walmart house, somebody said they saw you out and how you would stand and, you know, conducting yourself, and not realizing, well, maybe he has a lot on his mind that it ain't even that, and it doesn't even matter if you were walking like that. Points you gotta realize, and you coming to a point where you're gonna have to realize you gotta filter out negativity, because here's the thing, you will never be able to please everybody. I've been there, done it. We all have tried to please everybody, and you realize time you try to do that, it was another complaint. Something was, and it's gonna forever be.
It's forever gonna be.
It's gonna forever be. People gonna, you know what I'm saying, always talk about you. So let them talk. This would
get, I think sometimes that gets me. And I don't know if I said this, and if it's repetitive, it's okay. Y'all will probably hear it again.
Right.
Is if I said it, you know, the issue is for those who claim the spiritual gift of the discerning of spirits.
Exactly.
Is you can discern when I'm doing everything sexual.
Right.
But you can't discern when I'm depressed.
Right.
You don't have a word for me when I'm depressed. You don't have you can't discern when my life's about to get turned off. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay this $999 bill, and the utility company said they can't give me an extension.
Right.
You can't discern that. You can't see spiritually to that.
Yeah.
You know, you can't discern when there's no food in my refrigerator.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to feed whoever I'm going to feed.
Exactly.
You can't discern. And see, those are some things I actually have experienced.
Right.
And I had to sit in the house and had to figure out how am I going to maneuver this? How am I going to maneuver that?
You have to rob Peter, pay Paul.
Rob Peter, pay Paul.
Right.
And, you know, not happy about it. There was a moment I had to lie to one bill collector so I can pay this other bill collector.
Exactly.
You know.
We'll go take some loans out.
Take some loans out, you know. And I'm not saying I'm doing that now, but I'm saying there's times.
But everybody done been there. Everybody had their point where they had a down moment. We all go through it.
Yeah.
And it's okay, because guess what? God brought you through it.
I mean, continually. But, you know, even with them, I'm dealing with those people that always have an insight.
Right.
You know, and I said it. I said in my thing. I said for those who all feel like you have an insight into Darnell's life.
Right.
You know, like you, like the Lord is directly showing you, like, oh, you know, him and Felicia, they messing around. You know, you can see that. Yeah. But you can't see other stuff.
Exactly.
And like, you know, like I'm trying to figure, so your discernment, a lot of church people, discernment is always off.
Yes. And
then the thing of it is, and I'm going to say this, and like I heard a preacher said one time, he was like, you know, everybody's not fornicating to be fornicating.
No,
everybody's not doing drugs just to be doing drugs. Everybody's not going to the buffet and stuffing their gut just because they want to be gluttonous. You know what I'm saying? And this preacher said, majority of the time, most people are trying to fulfill a need.
Avoid. Avoid.
They try. They, you know, they feeling depressed. They feeling lonely. They feeling disgusted. Childhood trauma and all that type of stuff. And so they do certain things to try to feel something. You know what I'm saying? To pacify it. Right. Only between you and me. And you know, you may go to the buffet and you know, like I told one person who got mad at me, And I said, because she was talking about, these people laying around here just they're having sex, like anybody just go up in them. Exactly. And I said, ain't no difference, you
going to Golden Corral up here tearing that darn buffet up. Yeah, that does sound good. Right there, but go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, like both of y'all trying to fulfill a need,
just in a different type of way.
Just in a different type of way,
right?
And so, like, it got to me.
It did.
It got to me. I always have to hear, well, Darnell doing this and Darnell doing that and Darnell. And I remember the same person came back and told me that somebody was saying something about me and said, I guess they come back and tell her that I'm laying up with everybody. And I'm like,
well, that ain't even the case.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, and honestly speaking, y'all excuse me, I'm gonna tell you what I said. And this is what I said. Yeah. I said, well, shoot, I mean, the way my life going, whoever they told you bring them to me because, I need some relief.
Exactly.
And that's what I said. Yeah. And then, you that's not the conversation for, whatever. Like, well, like if you got that much discernment,
exactly,
then you should know that's not a reality in my life at this point.
Right. But it makes me wonder, okay, since they have so much, say, what are you doing? Because here's the thing, the churchy people, they have a whole lot of skeletons in their closet.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
They be the main ones.
During the space when I left the church, I remember one of the elders in the church. When my elders, I'm not talking about preacher or whatever. I'm talking about somebody that was much older, and person had a position. And so you're going to come to me and say, we're going to get you delivered. We're going to get you delivered from that nasty spirit you got, whatever. Right. And the funny part about it that irritated my soul is the fact that he was slanging his part everywhere.
Laying it low, spreading it wide.
He was spreading for wide. And I'm trying to figure out, you trying to help me get free from the spirit of gluttony. But you eat more than I'm eating.
In a different type of way. He said the table is spreaded. Feast, feast, feast.
Yeah, I'm good. But this is where, for me, this is where I felt like growth happened. I drew a line in the sand, and I dared anybody to cross it. Because usually what I did was I would draw lines and allow people to cross it. I would draw another line and allow people to cross it. I'm at a point where I'm backed up against the wall now, mentally and emotionally and spiritually. 2 years ago, it's 2 years now. It was around about this time of the year that after watching my mom almost pass away on 3 different occasions, that really affected my mental. And ever since then, I've been in a different space.
I understand.
I think realizing how short life is placed me in a position like, you can be gone tomorrow.
Exactly.
And it doesn't really matter how long you've been on earth. It still seems like it's just a short moment.
Exactly.
I told people this concerning almost, dealing with the possible death of my mom.
Right.
That I had a conversation. I told somebody, I'm like, only because I only have one parent, to me it hit differently.
Of course.
And I kind of start seeing things from a different perspective. From that perspective, I was like, I developed like I don't care attitude. And what I mean by that I don't care is kind of like you don't matter as much as I thought that you matter. Your opinion, the way you feel about stuff, the way, I try to perform for you.
Right.
And I know I'm 45 years old and I should have been over there a long time ago. And I know I'm not the only one that's probably dealt with it or currently dealing with that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I know for a fact I ain't the only one.
No, you're not.
I mean, even down to the simplest things like to a cell phone. Folks talk about me because I'm not an iPhone user.
Neither am I. I'm an Android user. Proudly.
Specifically, not just any type of Android phone. I am a Samsung person.
Same here.
And I had somebody that came to me in private about that, talking about, how they really prefer
Right.
that type of phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and truth be told, that's what they really want. So my mom like, why are you trying to be like everybody else
Exactly.
and do, you know,
Exactly.
and you know, what's the purpose of that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so then in public, he was when people roasted me about my phone, he slick joined in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like, why are you in this position of performing? So, you know, I think a lot of us,
Yeah.
still struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that kind of woke me up. I'm like 45 years old, and I never been the type of person to rock the boat.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one.
Right.
I always try to bring peace to any
Yeah,
situation.
you have.
And that's the reason why, you know, like earlier I talked about, like, you know, drawing a line in the sand and I would let
Exactly.
people cross
Those
it. It's
are-
because, not because, you know, I was afraid. It's because I'm like, you know, maybe it's not necessary to rock this
Right.
boat. Maybe
Right.
if I tried this, you know, this approach, this would happen.
Mm-hmm.
I come to find out that everybody don't think like me.
No. And
Everybody
I always
don't
tell you that
Bruh,
everybody.
no.
Yeah.
And I dealing with that. Not only dealing with that, watching my mom dealing with her health and see, you know, the changes.
Right.
You know, you see you remember your parent being this vibrant individual, you know, doing things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very into whatever that she did, you know, happy about doing what she did. And to see her in the state that she in, it got my mind looking at things differently.
It hits very different.
It does.
And it makes you feel differently
It does.
to know how a person once was.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just hard.
Very much so.
Yeah.
The thing of it is, I am who I am. I'm growing into what I should have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
And to walk around here to be concerned about everybody's thoughts and feelings, like it don't matter no more.
You're right, because you sit there and you sit there and lose sleep over what somebody
I
said
have.
about you.
You know,
And they sleeping peacefully at night.
sleeping
And you
peacefully.
trying to figure things out and see what you need to correct within yourself when it wasn't even you.
It wasn't.
The whole time. It wasn't even you.
It wasn't.
You know, and when it comes down to churchy people, I feel like they tend to forget where they once were or where they may currently still may be.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one's perfect at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Since you said that, a lot of times they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Prime example. They can sit here. It may be someone that's sleeping with somebody's husband, just for example, and they'll be quick to put their mouth on that person. But guess what? They did it too. And I'm like, you must have forgot that where you used to be.
Well, you go deep in that. I mean, your current spouse,
right?
it's because that you broke up a home. Even though it might have been 15, 20 years ago and y'all living happily ever after.
Exactly.
But you still, there's somebody that is, you know, shaken from
what you did. Yeah.
What you did. And, you know, but because you're in a different space and you know, everything is going smoothly, you tend to forget.
Exactly.
Or you pass judgment because, like, you did that.
Right.
You know, you don't moved on from it. But you look at somebody that's, you know, on the corner, you know, selling their body.
Right.
Instead of, you know, like the church term is have grace. They pass judgment. I don't see what they on that corner just doing X, Y. You know, all that stuff, man. Like all of that. And like I said it, you know, it may came across as being like unchristian, like by what I said. But I really mean it. I don't fool with y'all. I don't. That ended years ago. I have been cordial,
right?
You know, in a lot of degree, because I heard conversations before.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not. It may not be the same ones, but still, that same energy is still that same energy.
Exactly. No
and once you know that energy, you tend to kind of distance yourself, and that's what I do. And you know, like the whole thing that was said, oh yeah, we trying to, the whole conversation, it was surrounding the youth department and stuff like that at the church.
Right.
And you know, some young people came to them and said some things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't the only one that was implicated in the conversation. Let me say that first of all.
Okay.
There was some other people implicated in the conversation, but you know the way my name was spent was 10 times
That's worse.
Because you know when you say certain things about certain people, it kind of because in our mind, the religious context, we got our good to bad sins.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, like
yes.
You know, you can go overeat all day long.
No one says anything about it.
No one said
okay.
nothing about it. I mean, you're like, you know, she just eat all this so fine. You know, we still in our churches we still shout and dance the quote unquote victory while you know Darnell is suffering from high blood pressure because of his salt intake. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Or you know. Because I'm eating the wrong foods, my sugar is spiking up, you know, on the regular. So no one really says how bad that is. But as soon as you hear that Darnell is laying up in the bed with somebody,
oh yeah, they quick to talk.
He's supposed to be so safe.
Exactly.
And you know, you can't tell folk what to do when they laying around here. Like, but your attitude nasty.
Oh yes.
Like you're funky. You know, you ever thought some people don't? There's some people that may not come to this space because of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like every day, like for real though, this is me. You've been knowing me for like 30 plus years. Anybody know me? I'm hard on myself.
Yes, you are. You're a perfectionist.
Very much so.
Well.
And I'm breaking away from that. Trust me. Like if I'm sending an email and there's a missing word, I don't go back to that email and try to correct it anymore. I'm like, I got 5 million emails that I read from this person, that person.
Exactly.
And I'm discovering like, man, they got so many broken fragments of sentences. And I'm like, and you got to piece together trying to understand.
What they,
Right. Because, you know, truth be told, because people's lives are busy.
Exactly.
So when people's lives, mistakes happen. You know what I'm saying? So like now, I don't try to go back, oh, I meant, you know, it's supposed to be IT, not just I.
Right.
You know, like, if you I don't do that no more as much.
Yeah.
As I used to.
Right.
And literally that day, I think if 30 to 40 minutes didn't pass, I think the conversation would be completely different. I think you would have seen a volcano.
Oh boy.
I really feel, I think the time that I had, it kind of calmed me down and I started thinking, like, I'm going to say this, I'm going to address this, you know. It wasn't trying to be messy or anything like that, you know, because I could have called names out.
Yes,
but
you
I
could
didn't.
have. And
I could have laid things at the doorstep, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But what I did was, it wasn't even towards the person. It was a general conversation for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired. Like, I'm sick of it.
Yeah,
and after I said what I said, and I realized folk gonna talk. I understand that, and people gonna forever have an opinion about you.
Exactly.
What you say, but what I did expressing that you can have your opinion. I don't care anymore. Keep talking. Like in my conversation, what I said, you give me free advertisement.
Yep, and
then I did.
That's okay. Extra, read all about it. Inquiring minds want to know.
You give me free advertisement at the end.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was a grown up moment right there.
It was. It was. You know what? I'm proud of you.
You proud of me?
I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for no longer allowing people to walk across that line that you have drawn in your life. And you continue being you. Continue being you, because that's what I love about you. The fact that you're not judgmental. The fact that you allow people to be them and meet them and even love them where they are currently at in their lives, because you have definitely made a difference in my life. You know, and I'm not just saying that because we're friends, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You know, because if people focus on the positive side of things, things will be so much better, you know. Yeah. But like you said, there's some unhappy people in this world, you know, but let God take care of them, right?
Yeah.
Let him take care of them, you know. Let them talk.
Absolutely.
Let them talk.
I'm not even, you know, things happen for a reason.
It does.
it allowed me to express the private conversations you and I always have.
Yeah.
About when things get said, things get done, the disrespect that happened. You know, I had a situation that happened almost a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's been about 2 years because I moved in with my mom, and then I started hearing conversations, and you know, and I remember some of the people that I worship with was giving me ugly looks. I didn't know what the ugly looks was about, and I think dealing with my mom's sickness, I had to deal with that. Somebody who I allowed to move into my space, and every time I look at my end tables in my house, I think about $2,000 plus odd dollars of furniture I had to throw away.
Yeah.
And when I look at that, that's wasting money, only to hear the fabrication. Let me call it what it is, the lies.
Yeah, the lies
that was put out. The victimization that they made themselves out to be. You know what I'm saying?
But what did I tell you? I wish you would have talked to me first. You should have called your girl, because I would have put a stop to that.
But you know I'm a sucker for
children and single mothers. Because you think about your background.
I think about
my background. And that's exactly what it is. But like, say your friend. Your friend, like, so you should have picked up the phone and called, because that never would have happened. Man, it never would have happened. I would have done my best to talk, and I would have showed up.
Man, like my daughter made a statement because they helped me move, and she was hot because what I had allowed, and I was like, and sometimes when you in life situations, you only see what you see. You feel me?
That's true.
You feel what you feel, and some choices that I made in that regard, I took full responsibility of that. But at that moment, I did say some choice words though. I did. I was livid because
I know you were.
So now I got to go to my place of worship. Then I got to deal with people in the community repeating and what's being said. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot to deal with.
That's a lot to deal with.
That is a lot to deal with.
And you made yourself seem like that you was in a place of fear.
But yet you stayed. But yet you stayed.
Then you tore up my house.
Yeah.
Tore up my house, tore up my furniture.
I hate that.
So like all this was build up for me.
Yeah.
Because everybody, Darnell, I heard this person, he's so humble. And the last time I heard that word, I was livid. Because when you said it to me, the way I interpreted was, Darnell just allowed anything to happen. And the person said, you just got to trust God. Let the Lord fight your battles. And that added fuel
to the fire.
Yeah, because let the Lord fight. Let the Lord.
And sometimes it's easy said to that. I'm sorry, because they people, they tell you that, and in that moment, it's like he's taking too long. Like the Lord, come on, Jesus, come on.
I'll be the first one. Yeah, I'll be the first one. Me and Jesus have real conversations.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I talk to God the way I talk to you.
Right.
A long time ago, I used to be like, Heavenly Father, go through that whole spiel. Now I sit here like, Jesus, I really don't get this.
Right.
And then, with that election, me and Jesus really had an argument.
I know you did.
I did. I had to take some moments away.
Yeah.
From a whole lot of stuff.
I know you did.
Blood pressure was up.
You weren't the only one. You were not the only one. Oh,
just like, and the reason why that I'm able to have real conversations with God, because since I'm deconstructing from a lot of harmful theology that was handed to me, and I don't believe it was intentional. I think it was unintentional. They meant well.
Right.
You know, and that's the reason why I don't lay any negativity towards my elders, you know, when it
Right.
comes to a lot of stuff. So now I'm deconstructing. Now, I'm not doing like some people. Some people throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I'm like, let me drain this thing out so I
Right.
can see what's all in here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I know that God is, in my mind, and I believe that he's big enough to handle my frustration.
He is.
He's God enough to handle my anger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He is so big in his presence
Yeah.
that my literal irritation doesn't affect him.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't move him to where he want to be angry with me because of something that I said
Right.
out of my misunderstanding or my lack of understanding of a situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I don't have a problem with approaching God that way because of that. Deconstruct from a whole lot of stuff. You know, it don't really matter, you know, how you think about it,
Right.
you know, how you feel about it. And I'm not walking in those positions anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking about, and you're gonna say, out of all things, why would I say this? I'm gonna tell you what's going through my mind, and I think it's going back to, you know, how people view you for certain people that you affiliated yourself with. I'm gonna take it all the way back to our childhood. It's gonna sound crazy, but it's gonna make some sense. Christmas time, you know, they always play Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he was different from everybody else.
Yeah.
He felt like a misfit because that's what they would have considered him as, because he was not like the others.
Yeah.
But him being that misfit, he had purpose. That imperfection of his turned out to be perfect in its timing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When there was darkness, there was light through him, if you think about it. Now, in reference to that movie, it was with the Island of Misfits. Remember all the toys that was not the ideal toys that children would play with.
Right.
And they were forgotten until they were discovered, you know, and him going through what he was going through. And this kind of ties into when you got out in the world. You see what I'm saying? Because you stepped away from what you were familiar with.
I did.
Maybe got lost along the way.
I really did.
But it had purpose in it. Because by you losing your way, whether you realize it or not, you end up helping some people out along the way. Because again, you've helped me, because I'm not perfect. And there's a lot of other people that you have helped along the way. Because here's the thing. Again, you end up having to speak a new language. You see what I'm saying? That's just like when you go to another country, you sit there and go to, what, we're just going to say Asia.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't sit there. Some people cannot speak English over there, so you have to adapt to them and learn how to communicate with them and speak their language. And that's what you did in the midst of you going through what you was going through. You end up having to adapt and learn a new language in order to get across to other people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I want you to think about the next time you go through this, because it's going to happen again, because they're going to always forever talk till you close your eyes. And even when you dead and gone, they still going to have something to say about you. Just know that you have purpose, and you are even doing even that time frame. You was walking in your purpose. You didn't even know it.
You know, it's so strange that you said that, because me and my sister had a conversation, and there's a passage in the Bible that Isaiah said when King Uzziah died. He said that's when he saw the Lord high and lifted. So I was telling her in this conversation, I said, strangely as it may sound, when I backslid, that's when I saw more of God.
Right.
That's when I saw more of who I was as a person. Now, it wasn't an overnight thing, you know, because, you know, I was connected to some foul situation, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's another story for
It
another day.
is. Another day, another time, another hour.
That's a long story.
Yes.
I began to see things differently, you know, and not that I didn't love God then, not that I didn't appreciate my upbringing, but it's like scales fell off my eyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I start approaching what I believe from a different perspective. And the funny part about it, I remember when I started trying to operate back in church and do things and trying to get back into the rhythm of things.
Right.
I felt off kiltered. Like, you know, it didn't hit me then because I thought maybe, you know, I'm just rusty because I ain't rode this bicycle in a long time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But then I realized that wasn't the case. Like, you know, years later, you know, and this is just an added moment too, since you bring it up, because it's, you know, in the church world, like, girl, we'll say you so prophetic, you know. So, but you know, it's I start my mind. I you know, literally, I start being more bold as time. Like, you know, I was, you know, I'm more bold now. Like I just, you know, like earlier we talked about a situation when the man approached me talking about, you know, they're gonna pray for my deliverance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I never been a judgmental person. Like, I'm not gonna say I never been judgmental. I never tried to be judgmental.
Right.
Because I think we all.
I think everybody pays judgment at some point.
point.
Whether you're trying to or not, you do.
We do.
We just being honest about it.
Yeah. And matter of fact, let me say this, you know, because the person might be watching. Me and this person had a huge argument. And I said some things.
I got you.
2.5, 3 years passed. For some reason, that conversation began to replay back in my mind. I called the individual up. I said, hey, yo, are you busy? Can we talk?
Right.
And he was like, sure, what's up? And I was like, hey, I need to apologize to you. So he had forgot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we were still cool.
Right.
He had forgot. And I was like, hey, do you remember this conversation we had right here? Do you remember what I said to you? He said, yeah. He's like, you know, I remember that, you know, stuff like that. I said, hey, I was way out of line, man. I was out of pocket.
Right.
And I was like, will you forgive me? And I said to him, and I said, you know, what I said to you probably made you feel less than a person. And I said, when I said what I said, I didn't see that from that particular angle, but I see it now. And I said, will you please forgive me for what I said to you that made you feel less than? And that's what I did. I took responsibility and took accountability of what I said. I didn't intentionally try to be judgmental. Right. But I was.
Exactly.
And then when I became cognitive of me doing that, I went to him as a man, like, Lord, will you forgive me? Could you forgive me?
Right.
And I never forget his lossful words, and just no praise to me. And I tell people all the time, like, an apology can go a long way. It can. And how you apologize can go a long way.
It makes a big difference.
Because one thing I hate about when some people apologize, when they do this now, you probably know, hey, don't choke over here.
You have to call 911.
Look, we gotta do some CPR.
Get choked up.
One thing I don't like when a person apologizes and they was like, you know, hey, Darnell, you know, I'm sorry for what I said to you, but if you never called me white, I would never called you black. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, that's not an apology.
I've heard that a few times.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. But let me tell you what somebody called me after because they seen my post. They was like,
I bet that was interesting.
Yeah. They called me, it was tripping. Said they was cussing. They said, how in the H that you going to invite people to the space where those same people that's talking about you come to worship?
And what was your answer?
My answer was this. Crazy it may sound, I know the heart of my church.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know the heartbeat of any space that you are in,
mm-hmm.
all the little rigmarole that goes around it don't really matter.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
So when I said we are a place of love, I'm speaking of the heart of where I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be honest. We have been to some of the best restaurants around here.
Mm-hmm.
But baby, there have been moments where we seen roaches.
Oh God, yes we have.
Yeah.
At
At the finest establishments. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Memphis and seen rats crawl around the areas where I'm standing by. I'm going to eat. Now, I'm not saying they was in there.
Right, but they were close.
It was close. But what I can say about the establishment or those establishments, like they got good food.
Mm-hmm.
Customer service is great there. I recommend anybody. They're 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. You know, I might say 8 out of 10 because then you get rid of roaches and the other rodents. But I'm going to speak to the core of that place.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Think of this, like folk go to McDonald's and Burger King every day. Man, they got roaches and
yeah, they do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? it think nothing of it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
And so I did that because I realized I don't care where you go to far as a place of worship,
mm-hmm.
you always gonna deal with people.
Yes, you are.
And people gonna be messy.
Yeah.
They're gonna be what I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stuck up, arrogant.
Yeah.
Nonchalant.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they had their little cliques and stuff.
They had their cliques.
Yeah, but I was gonna touch on that. Oh God, yeah. But then they be praising the Lord when you see them on Sunday morning.
And that's fine. You know they need to.
Well, I'm saying, one minute they praise the Lord, then next minute they appear. As soon as they get out of church, they get to talk about everybody in the church. Honestly. Especially old heads get cranked up. You be like, what? They get at the table, they get to drinking, they Bud Light.
We see,
like, not mother such and such. Yes. I've seen it. It's funny.
It is. But you know what? I ain't even messed up about it anymore.
Yeah.
I was heated and I made my statement. I said what I said.
But like I said, set you free.
I
felt like that was weight lifted. I could be wrong, but that's
no, you ain't wrong.
You just appear to be so much lighter.
You ain't wrong because I had a conversation with an elder who asked me about what I said that. I said I meant what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be like, I was in the wrong spirit and that's why I hate that about us church people.
Yeah, I'm glad you said church people because it ain't me. Go ahead.
The devil really. No, that wasn't the devil.
I meant it.
I meant it.
That's how I am. Whatever. If I get into it with somebody and I was ticked off in that moment, and I say something that's cutthroat, and because a lot of people they sit there when they come down like either they gonna say I don't remember saying that or I didn't mean that. I'll say, well, guess what? I meant that in that moment. I'm good now. But what I said, I meant what I said in that moment. Take accountability for what it is. It ain't always the devil all the time.
9 times out of 10, it really ain't the devil.
You said that's how you felt. That's what was on your mind.
That's what you've been thinking. That's what you've been feeling. But man, I just after that, that's probably the reason why I slept.
You slept so peacefully. It wasn't that night, so it really wasn't a night quail. That was getting that weight off. You was at peace. You was at peace with yourself. You was like, ooh.
Look, it drained all the edge out of me after that. Like, Lord, thank you.
You said, look.
Lord, at 45 and have experienced a lot.
Right.
And I keep repeating my age because I'm glad to be here.
It's a blessing because you've been through so much.
Yeah. So, I joke about being 25 and I know I'm like 20 years past that.
Right.
But it's definitely like a good thing. Like I'm happy to be here. I'm happy for life experiences. And And I still battle with, if I could turn back the hands of time, things probably be slightly different.
Right.
But also I realized that it was those life experiences that brought me to the place I am right now.
Yeah.
And if what happened Friday did not happen, I'll probably be continuing the same, behavior that was done before.
You would still be stuck.
I'll still be stuck.
You would still be stuck.
The thing of it, like I said, I talk to who I talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I converse who I converse with. It's the same word, just different, same meaning, different words.
Exactly.
I hang out who I hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mature enough to realize my own personal boundaries.
Right.
I am mature enough to handle that. Only time that I let my guards down, and you remember them days.
I do.
Is because I really began to question why, I couldn't keep friends, why I couldn't keep, certain ones around. What's wrong with me? And it's part of the reason why I kind of delve into a lot of stuff.
Right.
Because I allow perceptions of others to be my perception.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really thought I was completely wrong about a lot of things.
Right.
I never forget this. I was smoking weed, I was drinking, and Show was cussing,
Yeah.
And I remember a relative came over when they heard that I was doing all this stuff. And he said, "Man, you doing that for real? Man, you cool now? Cool now?" And it's so funny because me and my sister, we talk about this. I was like, God has a way of starting your wake up process.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, I am still that guy that like talking about history.
Yes, you are.
I'm still that guy that loves talking about science.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still the guy that loves. I'm talking about at that particular time. Talking about politics.
Exactly. I was still here thinking about that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been that way
all your life.
Before then,
Yeah.
you felt that I was not somebody you want to associate with, not somebody you want to fool with. I wasn't cool enough. I wasn't down enough. There go me trying to position myself, to please others.
Yeah, get on their level.
So I can be,
So
I
you
talk
fit
about
in.
performance. That's the word I use. Performing. Yeah, there go
I
me.
say that sometimes when you step out, when you leave your home, I feel like you step out on stage. Because behind closed doors, no one knows what you're dealing with on the inside. It's just like we look at these comedians.
Yeah.
They are so fun. They make you laugh. You may be going through stuff, and they get on that stage and they just, man, you can watch them for hours and hours and stuff. And you, just because what they're bringing to you, you're like, oh God, they got it made. Like, oh, I know they are really happy. But as soon as they exit off their stage, they dealing with depression.
Yeah.
Broken hearts, may have a drug problem. May be trying to figure out who they are.
True.
What purpose they serve, trying to find somewhere to fit in and belong.
Yeah.
Deal with the same issues that we tend to deal with.
I heard a story today. I follow other podcasts.
Right.
And it's I'm gonna tell you who it is. It's Willie Moore Jr. I can't think of the name of his podcast.
Okay.
But he was talking to this other guy that he was interviewing, and he made a statement that really caught my attention. And I think that's one reason why I'm not as messed up.
Okay.
So he was adopted by some older parents. They was in their 50s. He said his dad is in his 90s now, right?
Okay.
So he was adopted by some older parents, and he said, I can't quote him verbatim, but he said his daddy told him, like, look, man, I'm telling you right now, I don't grew up 4 times. 4 different men. So he began talking about the different stages
of his life.
So, but this is what he said. He was talking about, because Willie was talking about, Willie Moore Jr. was talking about that he was a hothead.
Yeah.
He always was ready to pop off. And his daddy told him, said, you just don't realize that you in a 2-parent home. They in a 1-parent home. They're jealous of you. Your parents own a candy store.
Right. And
told him, said, what you do, take some candy, give it to him. He invited him over, gave him some candy. Man, they was like cool. They was boys.
Right.
He got mad again. His dad was like, so you mad? They only friends with me because I'm getting them candy. He said, no, it's the only reason why they're friends with you. He said, they're friends with you because now they know how good of a person you are, and they realized that they was really jealous of what you have.
Exactly.
So my mind got to spending, and I'm like, sometimes folk run their mouth, they talk.
Right.
They got something to say about you and what you got. Because it's funny, because some of the conversations I heard about me came from people who own their own houses. They're making 6 figures. You feel me? And they driving in some of the best vehicles.
Right.
But yet my name has been running through their mouths like crazy. And I'm trying to see here I am. I'm looking into you like, you got it together. I don't.
Right.
That's what it appears like.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so I got to thinking, instead of being mad about this whole situation and allowing it to go into me going into depression about it or being angry about it.
Right.
The more I thought about it, it's like, there could be a possibility that you're jealous.
Exactly.
And that may sound arrogant, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It could be. It could, maybe they're messed up because they see the hell that you're going through and how you still
stand
strong. Or,
that you still smile.
You still
smile in spite of what you go through and stuff, and they don't understand why.
Literally bouncing back.
Yeah.
And and my bishop, man, I love him so much. Man, he may not, to some people, may not be the perfect person. But for my life, him and the church is perfect for me. And I'm not saying everything is perfect with that, because there'll be some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he said something to me that really blessed my soul the other day. He was like, you got to realize when you're left for dead and you come back alive, he said that angers people because they're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
They left you for dead, but for some reason you still moving, you still kicking. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Felicia, whatever purpose is on your life, is on your life.
Exactly.
Whatever God has graced you for, God has graced you for that. There's some stuff that you experienced that somebody would have shot themselves and literally killed themselves, took their lives over that.
You're right.
And sometimes we be like, man, I want what,
exactly
what he got. I want what she got and stuff like that. And it's like you all jealous over them.
Exactly.
You feel me?
Oh,
but you never know
what they're going through.
What they're going through.
Exactly.
At all. So yeah, I'm going to let them talk.
Hey.
I've grown up in that area. And this may sound funny. I just had this thought.
Okay.
David had a wife that when they brought the Ark of the Covenant back to Israel, this is a Bible story.
Okay.
And he danced until his royal clothing was just came off. He wasn't naked.
I got you.
It just this royal clothing came off, and his wife said, look at you acting a fool. You're supposed to be a king. And I'm saying this from this point on, I'm going to be more celebratory than ever. That's what I'm going to be, because a lot of people don't know my life story. I don't talk about the things I've been through. I don't talk about, certain abuse. I don't talk about that. I don't talk about, being compared to all my life and made to feel as if that I did. Man, I don't talk about that. I just bounce back.
Yeah, and you telling that story that you just shared.
Yeah.
All I could envision was layers falling off, you shedding all the things that have been going on in your life. It doesn't happen overnight. Yeah. But you're in that process. Depression, hurt, pain. No, I'm just saying. Because it's something we all go through. Because think about it. I'm speaking. Yeah. We ain't talking
150 to almost 400.
Yeah, so that's you shedding. You know what I'm saying? them layers, you stripping it off of you. You know what? It was like when you take it off that old man and you put on that new man.
Yeah. I want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Allowing me this space to express myself.
You're welcome.
I want to say thank you. You know, like I said, this was uncomfortable. You know, to really talk about me, because I don't like talking about myself.
Right.
You know, I feel like there's other people who I could give that space to. You know, I was told this: if you focus on yourself, that's being selfish.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to be selfish. Sometimes
I realize that.
Yeah.
I'm realizing that sometimes you gotta.
Yeah. It's okay to put you first sometimes.
Yeah. I'm learning that, and I'm not saying every day that's easy for me, but I'm learning to put Darnell first. You know, like if I don't, then what if I'm connected to? That's a possibility might fall.
Guess what?
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. I appreciate you. You know, thank you.
And thank you.
Much. This concludes the conversation. Just let them talk, man. People gonna say whatever they're gonna say, but let them talk. What I need you to do is this: share this conversation with somebody. Let them dive into it. You know, I wasn't trying to end it on a somber note. Did I say the word right?
Hey, you being a Darnell fashion. Google. Look, phones out. Here we go. Look, you're doing so good tonight.
I heard Jonisha right now. There he go, making up another word.
Yeah, baby. You sound like T.I. now.
It's all cool. Listen, we need you to tune in next week at the same time, and we want to let you know that we love you.
God bless you.
God bless you, and peace and out.